Welcome back to Design Bundle's YouTube channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Crystal. Today, we're going to do a versus video. We're going to do sublimation versus HTV, so heat transfer vinyl. So we're making two t-shirts, same design, one sublimation and one is HTV. So we're going to talk a little bit about the differences. One of them is really big. One is going to take us 60 seconds and it's on one paper. All of the colors are together. The other one is going to take us a little bit of time. We got to cut each one of these layers out. We now have to weed them all, and then we're going to have to press them one at a time. So it is going to take a little bit longer. So that is number one. Number two, takes more material. This is probably around a quarter. You're probably around $1 or a little bit more than $1 here. So the cost, and then also the wearing. So for example, you're going to be able to fill this on your t-shirt, where sublimation, you're not going to fill this. This is going to be one with the t-shirt, and it's going to last you the life of the t-shirt. So if your t-shirt gets holes in it, then obviously your t-shirt's over with. This is going to not wash out, fade, or anything like that, where, you know, with this over time, you can get peeling or crackling and things like that. So there is those things. So also, we're going to press the HTV around 315 with a Cricut Easy press for 20 seconds. Now, if I was using a bigger heat press, I'll do 305 for around 10 seconds. And then with sublimation, you're looking at 400 degrees for 60 seconds. So your heat goes up and your time goes up as well. So there's those things. And then it costs around $500, $500 to $600 to get started with your sublimation. Unless you're going to convert an Epson printer, you could get started for around, you know, around $300, because by the time you buy the printer and the inks and papers, you're looking around $300. Same with HTV. I mean, you've got to buy your Cricut for $300 and then all of your materials and things. So I would say pretty much the same if you were going Epson versus Cricut or Silhouette price-wise. So there's those. And then also the other thing is with HTV, I can put it on polyester, but I can also put it on cotton. So I can put it on canvas. I can do all sorts of different materials, as where sublimation, I can only put it on 100% polyester, or you need a blend. So if you were doing, say, for example, a Gildan 50-50, you're going to lose some color. So you're going to lose 50% of that color. I think it still looks good, but you are going to lose color. So there is limitations. You know, you have to have it on polyester. But then there is more substrates and things like that, like mugs and, you know, keychains and cell phone cases. The list goes on that you can sublimate as well. But you can also apply HTV to quite a bit of things as well. So let's go ahead and get started. Today I'm using the Cricut Raglan t-shirt with the black sleeves. We're going to do that for the sublimation. And then I'm using this Gildan. I believe this is soft style, but this is, it doesn't matter. It's 100% cotton because it's HTV. 100% cotton and then 100% polyester. So to see that we're using two different ones. And this is like a neutral tone. I really love it. It's called Natural. I can't remember, but it's something natural. Super nice. I love it. It has these tiny little speckles in it. It's really cool. So we're using this hippie sole. It's so cute. And what I tried to do was keep the colors consistent with my HTV. So that way they'd somewhat match. But for this maroon here, I'm actually using Caesar Electric. This, I believe, is their cherry. It's really, really pretty. So we're going to use this today. So that's going to be a little bit different. And then our blues may be off just by a smidge. All of these are Caesar HTV, guys. And then I'm using my Sawgrass SG-1000. I use the 11x17. Now, if I haven't lost you guys yet with all of this information, with your sublimation, you're going to need a lint roller and you're going to need heat tape. And then once again, we've got our heat press and I've got my heat pad. With HTV, we're going to need our heat press. You're going to need the lint roller. You really should lint roll, but you could get away with that, without it. And then you don't need heat tape. With the HTV, we're going to need a weeding tool. And that's it. So let's go ahead and get started. Now I'm going to start with the HTV. That way it's the lower temp and then we can bump it up and do the sublimation. So with the HTV, like I said, now we have to weed everything, but this is a pretty easy design, so it's not going to take me too long with this. Now the one thing to keep in mind is with HTV, depending on, you know, your layers. So say for example, I may end up, this is 4 colors, you could end up with 10 layers. So the list kind of goes on. So that is one thing to keep in mind. Sublimation just makes it so much easier. I can accomplish that project in probably 5 minutes. where HTV is going to take you quite a while to cut everything out and weed it all. It's going to be more time consuming. So if this is something for a business, keep in mind that you can produce way more, way faster with the sublimation. But also it does have its limitations, like cotton. But if it's cotton, you do have options like Caesar Easy Subli, which is a printable HTV, if you will. So you do have options. There is things, there is poly tee. We have videos here that you can spray on your t-shirt, and it's going to allow you to then sublimate on a 100% cotton t-shirt. So there is options, right? So we're going to go ahead and just keep weeding all of these little pieces here. Now, you guys let me know in the comments section, do you guys prefer, you know, are you guys more of an HTV fan? Are you guys a sublimation fan? Have you got into sublimation, or you guys wanting to get into sublimation? I would love to know. Now, also, if you guys want any other versus videos like this, also let us know in the comments, because that also helps give us ideas of content to create for you. We want to make sure we are helping you guys out. So if you guys have any ideas of versus videos or sublimation videos or Cricut videos, silhouette videos that you guys want to personally see, let us know in the comments below. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep weeding this. This color right here, I believe, is called Mustard. It's gorgeous. I love this yellow. It is so, so nice. It's one of my favorites, and I thought it was perfect for this like hippie vibe. So cute. And then the weeding tool, in case you guys are wondering, is from Stahls. Caesar also has one very similar to it, and I love it. It's just the handle's really nice and grippy. It works great. All right, so we've got our hippie, and then we have our hippie here. So it should be yellow, the maroon, and then the blue. And so then the other thing is with the HTV, now I've got to make sure I line these up correctly. These are already lined up, they're ready to go. What's also really cool is if, say for example, I love how our designs are already designed, like the colors are perfect. So I don't have to change anything. But what's really cool is these are gonna be the exact colors, or true to color to the PNG, where I've got to go find the exact colors in the HTV. I've got to really match those up if I want to get the exact same effect. So that's another thing to consider as well. So what's really cool about this file is it's a PNG, but it's also an SVG, and each layer, as you guys can see, you can change and customize. All right, so here we go. So let's start to layer these up. So let me go ahead and get my t-shirt here. I'm gonna do this so that way I don't fall asleep on us. So now what we would do for our very first step, after we do all of that stuff, we're gonna prep up our t-shirt. So a few things we need to do. We need to pull out the moisture, right? So give me just a second. We're going to kind of get some of our wrinkles down, because if you go to put your iron on it, you may make bigger wrinkles than what you already have. All right, so we're just smoothing out those wrinkles and getting out that moisture. All right, so here we go. We've got everything smooth, everything's ready. So now we're gonna go ahead and remove that lint. You could also remove the lint before you actually remove. So like now I'm getting a little bit more wrinkles in there. So I may wanna come back and hit that one more time. Now with this design, once we get into sublimation, I will have to hit it twice, and you guys will see that. All right, so here we go. So we've got to line these up. So what I like to do here is I'm going to get my design all lined up. You could use parchment paper, whatever you want to. So it's the yellows first. I'm going to do it this way just so I can see. So I'm going to get this one down, and then I know it's my maroon one. All right, so I'm just lining everything up. That way I can visually see, and I can line these up nicely on the t-shirt. All right. Because I don't want to place it in a weird position and then I don't have everything lined up, okay? So now we're going to go ahead and check our next one. So somewhere right about in here looks good. And then we're going to get our last one. All right. Whoop. Go ahead and carefully get these pieces in here like so. All right, so if you line them up like this, you can see visually where they're going to go. So now what I can do is I can fold my design in half, get that crease mark. So I know when I lay this on the t-shirt, then I can come back, lay them one at a time. So once again, you could definitely layer these on a parchment paper so that way it's not sticking to your t-shirt, but you can use your t-shirt as well. So there's our design. Love it. So cute. So like I said, we're going to have to hit these one at a time. Now keep in mind when you're layering colors like this, you definitely want to do like a 2-second tack. So the whole time that we're doing is 20 seconds. That's going to be the very end. But I'm going to do 2 seconds, 2 seconds, 2 seconds, 2 seconds. If I was doing Cricut brand, it would be 5 seconds each. This is going to prevent shrinking. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that tag, come down around 2 to 3 fingers, and I'll probably turn my t-shirt like this just so I can see everything. All right. I absolutely love this. My daughter is a huge like hippie. She's got this hippie like boho vibe, so she's going to love this. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I can pull off all of these layers, right? Keep it together so I can see one at a time. All right, so now we're going to come in. We're going to hit it, like I said, 2 seconds. So go. So we got 19, 18. It's good enough. Pick it up. It does not take very much to tack this down. This is a worm pill. So as you can see, that fast and that easy it tacked it down. It does not take no time at all. All right, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to line this guy back up. So I'm going to make sure everything this time is absolutely perfect and it looks great. Get this one down. Now what you want to do is take that one piece we just peeled off and we want to put it back. All right, so coming back in, I'm not going to get on that yellow. I'm going to try to avoid it. I'm going to just get on that maroon right there and then get a 2 second tack down. Looks great. And then very carefully, we are going to give it just a second. I was trying to peel it super hot. Nice and slowly, we are going to start to peel. All right, now that was that electric from Caesar. So I'm going to keep these two together because we're fixing to put them back on. All right. And then we're going to come in with our next ones. So I'm going to really make sure I'm lining everything up. All right. I think that looks really good. Drop that down and peel this up. Put these two back on. All right. Now I do love, I'm a fan of either or. I love HTV too. I kind of love the texture as well. And as somebody that makes it, I just love the progress of it, the process and all that. I'm a huge fan of any sort of crafts, but I do love it. So I'm going to go ahead and peel. But I like to point out, because like today, if you're doing it for a business, you definitely want to, you know, think about production time and all of that fun stuff. All right, so I'm trying to be super careful because my letter was wanting to come back up with me. All right, nice and easy. Here we go. And then this will be our last layer. Now, because it is our last layer, I don't need the 2 second tack down. I'm going to do the full 20 seconds. So I'm going to cover everybody back up like so. And then this time I'm going to cover everything up and we're going to hit go. So this time I'm doing 315 for 20 seconds. Once again, if I was using a bigger heat press, it would be 305 for 10 seconds. So, so definitely you need a little bit more time with your Cricut Easy Press. So we are almost done here. And you are good to go. Now, according to the Cricut Heat Guide, they do recommend that you flip your t-shirt over and press it for another 15 seconds. I'm not going to do that today to save a little bit of time, just because we still have to sublimate. Now, while I'm getting this ready, I'm going to go and bump this guy up. So we need to bump it up to 400 degrees, 400 for 60 seconds. We'll go ahead and do that now. So bump this guy up. I was going down. So we're going to bump it up to 60 seconds. All right, there we go. Okay, so now we are going to peel this. We are good to go. I absolutely love this design, so cute. Now, whenever it comes to HTV, because I had all these little pieces, you may end up with some lines in there. And what you can do to smooth this out is take a piece of parchment paper. So this right here is like, this is kind of like a blowout paper, but it has a special like silicone coating on it. These are made for HTV projects and stuff like that. So what we're going to do is now I'm going to cover my entire design, and now I've got the heat bumped up a little bit, so I want to be kind of quick. I'm just going to go over it and give it a little bit of heat here, and then that's just going to smooth everything out. So that'll get rid of all those little lines. So you guys can see how super cute this came out. Is this not adorable? So while we wait for that heat and get ready, Here is one. So like I said, I really love HTV. It really is a ton of fun if you're crafting and stuff, but business-wise, it may be a little bit more not cost effective, but cost you a little bit more and a little bit more time consuming. So keep that in mind. So there we go, but love this. And I've got more options. So I was able to put this on 100% cotton. So that is one thing. Now, another thing I get all the time, make sure that your shirts are already pre-shrunk. They'll say it right here on the tag. Make sure they're pre-shrunk. If not, I do highly recommend that you pre-wash them first. All right, so we've got 400 degrees for 60 seconds. So what we're gonna do here is we are going to get our t-shirt, and I'm gonna get it down here on my pad. Now, I'm not going to worry about my bottom pad here just because the designs shouldn't touch my pad, so I'm not going to worry about covering it with parchment. But if you did, you would want to do that. I can't speak today. All right, so I'm going to take my t-shirt here. I love these raglan tees by Cricut. Once again, I love their, I love Cricut's blanks for their t-shirts because you can find them locally. Target, Walmart, Hobby Lobby, Michael's, Joann's. I love that you can go straight to town and grab these. So it's really, really nice. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and remove any sort of moisture and just smooth out those wrinkles just like we've done before. All right, and now we're going to take that sublimation design. Now we're going to take that sublimation design. We are going to fold it in half here so I can find the center, just kind of get a little crease mark. And I'm going to come down. Now, before I do, I almost forgot, you want to lint roll. It's very important because if you don't, you could get these little bitty blue speckles. And there we go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take that design. I'm going to come down, you know, around 3 fingers or so, but my design don't start till a little bit further. So I think I'm good here. All right. I think that seems pretty straight. So the next thing we want to do is tape it down. This is very important as well because you don't want to get any ghosting. So 1 and 2. And then we're going to protect it with parchment. There we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this twice. I'm going to do one side and then the other because it just don't fit it all the way. So I'm going to go ahead and drop down here, 400 degrees for 60 seconds. And then as soon as we're done here, we're going to pick it up, move it over very carefully, and press it again. All right, so we are getting towards the end here. I'm going to pick it up very carefully. All right, and set it on this side very carefully, and we're going to press one more time for 60 seconds. So I'm trying to be super duper careful so I don't get any ghosting, which is when your paper shifts and then it basically just smears your design, if you will, across your t-shirt. And that's what ghosting is. It's just going to cause a double image. So really, I don't know why we don't call it like a mirrored, because it just basically kind of goes across the t-shirt and presses itself. So that's what you call ghosting. So we've got 30 more seconds and we'll be ready to go. All right, we've got 3 seconds here. We are almost ready. Very carefully, I'm going to get this guy out of the way here. And then we're going to move our parchment paper. And I'm going to very carefully peel my sublimation design. So as you guys could see, I was able to do a bigger design by using my press twice. And then here is that sublimation t-shirt. And there you guys have it. You can see how cute that is. I love it. It is super, super fast. It's going to be right out the door. Easy. You're going to print it. You can have your t-shirt in 5 minutes. Also, it's going to stay true to color. So when I purchase that PNG, I know I'm going to have those exact colors. It's just going to simply be print. Absolutely love it. But once again, you do have those limitations. You really want to strive for a higher poly count. So you can do a 50-50. Once again, you're just going to have a lighter image. So there you guys have that. And then you do have your HTV, which is going to allow you to put it on cotton. You're just going to have more steps, and it's going to be a little bit more expensive than the sublimation when you're printing them out. So there you guys have it. So you guys let me know down below. Do you prefer the one that is, let me get these so where you guys can see them. Do you guys prefer the one that is sublimation, or do you guys prefer the one that we did with the HTV? Let me know in the comments down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys found it helpful. If you did, please hit the like button down below and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.